Hey there, everyone. It's a new month, which means it's a new box available at Bariatric Monthly. Make sure you use the code SEP17 this month to get $5 off the September box. And Chantelle, you just got yours recently, didn't you?
I did, and the best thing about it, it's not an ongoing subscription service. So if you just want a once-off box, you can get a once-off box.
Absolutely. So take advantage of that code. We've also got another sponsor of the show, which is Cost Price Supplements. Tell us about that, Chantelle.
So a huge thanks, first of all, to Chris and the team at Cost Price. They've actually given us a code, which is WLS Family, which gets people 15% off their orders.
But it doesn't include Quest bars, books, samples, and Optifast. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
And look, at the moment, they've just released their protein jellies, which I've tried, and they are amazing.
And they also do that protein perfection water, is that
Correct,
right?
and that's what I have, and mango is my favourite one. So they've also got the Mars bar and Snicker protein bars too. So
lots of things to get from Cost Price Supplements, guys. So just remember those two codes. That is SEP17 for Bariatric Monthly, gives you $5 off the Bariatric Monthly box. And WLS Family, which gives you 15% off your entire shopping cart at Cost Price Supplements. Just doesn't include Quest bars, books, samples, and Optifast. All right, let's get on with the show. And it's a big welcome back to me.
no,
Yes.
it was actually nice not having you.
It's not really nice to say, you know.
It was different. It was nice to do it with someone else. But that sounds wrong.
That does sound wrong, and I just have something to say, and that everyone loves having me back on the program.
Oh, okay. Well,
I've been inundated with messages.
I'm sure you have. Have they been from me?
No. Hundreds of messages,
I want
people
proof.
asking me to come back on the show, and they couldn't deal with just you and Alice.
Proof or it didn't happen.
I don't need to prove it, because people know that this is the case. They know that they can't deal without having me on the show.
Well, we actually did get feedback that the last episode was actually very comical. We had a lot of people saying that there was a lot of laughter.
Yeah, but I'm funnier. What?
Did you see the tumbleweed just go past?
That's not really nice. I mean, come on.
No.
You're supposed to love the fact that I'm back on the program with you.
Let's move on.
No, I see how it is. I hope everyone has had a fantastic week. It is actually really good to be back on. Excuse me. And it's good to be back in the studio with you.
Studio. It's a study.
It's a studio, mate. It is the lifeblood of our podcast.
Righty-ho.
How's your week been?
Eventful.
Eventful?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're not going to talk about what happened today because everyone's already seen that on my Insta rant. But my day job is to deal with customer inquiries and complaints, and I've been doing it since I was about 18.
I want to speak to the manager.
Pretty much, or, getting called every name under the sun. So if you are a listener and you are a customer, when you do call centres, be nice. Like, we have emotions too, and
We have your personal details.
I don't really like being called every name under the sun, and I hate it when they're like, it's not you, it's the company. And I'm like, okay, well, why are you having a go at me about it? So, anywho, long story cut short, the job is giving me a lot of anxiety, as you know, Grant, and not good for my mental health. I'm coming home, I'm miserable, I'm crying all the time, and have to put this happy persona on all the time with social media and the podcast. But, deep down I am hurt. And I got my big break this week.
Really?
I did. I resigned from my job.
Oh, well.
And
Wow.
going to be starting a new one on October 2nd, completely out of the electricity industry.
Oh, that's fantastic. Who are you going to be working with?
I'm going to be an office manager.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Well, tell us a bit more. Who's your new boss?
I'm sleeping with the boss. Grant and his dad. His dad has a business. They were looking for someone, and I was like, sign me up. And
I'm regretting it already.
Shut up. Really looking forward to the opportunity. I'm actually looking forward to waking up in the morning and looking forward to going to work, because I miss that. I used to have that feeling, and I'm in a position now where when I wake up in the morning, I actually have to talk myself into going to work. And on the way to work, I've got a million things going on in my head, and I'm like, who's going to abuse me today? Who's going to, upset me today? Completely understand the economy, how it is at the moment. Electricity is very expensive, and the salaries are not going up, but the power prices are, and people are worried that they can't afford it, but they take it out on me. And I just can't do it anymore. It's not good for my mental health. It's not for me. And if I can be completely honest, I've lost all empathy for customers basically over the last 2 years because of the way that everyone's becoming so demanding. I don't have time for it.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. I haven't announced it on Instagram or Facebook yet, so podcast listeners are the first ones to know. So start October 2nd. I still haven't got my congratulation bouquet of flowers from you, Grant, but that's okay.
That's because I am your new boss. I don't need to do any of that stuff, mate.
Not even one flower? And don't get a bag of flour, because I know what you like.
I probably would do something like that.
Here's your flour.
Here's your flour, mate. That make me a sandwich.
Cholesterol.
No cheese for you anymore, mate.
Oh, I'm so upset. How was your week?
Look, I'm still getting over the fact that footy season's over. Well, not quite over, but over for my team. I love footy finals. I love getting into it. Excuse me again.
Ev will be happy.
Well, Ev's very happy because his team is in the finals, but I suppose the other thing is that the Premier League season has started, so as one footy season goes away, I get to start another one, and probably another bit of heartache all over again, but...
Probably going to request that you move Foxtel out of the lounge room into your manland, because,
Well, no, you won't allow that to happen. You'll just make me watch something else instead.
Already Battle of the Sexes happening, huh?
Yes. Well, we'll get on to that. But, that's been the week. Looking forward to cricket season as well, which is coming up soon. But, Sports Central.
Thanks for your wife, cleaning out your cricket bag today and washed your goods and accidentally picked up your box and wondered what it was and then realised what it was and threw it down quickly. I was like, what is this? Is this part of his pads? And I'm like, when was that wash last?
You've got to... there's a lot of things you need to learn about the game, babe. But that's okay. You'll get there. Anyway, let's get on to... What?
Oh, if you could... Oh. I'm going to throw this pen at your head.
Just make...
I'm very hostile.
I know. Just settle down, mate. Settle down. Let's get on to the show.
Someone broke my heart today.
How?
My cholesterol's a bit high.
Just relax about
and
that.
they told me no more cheese.
Well, anyway, you've spoken enough about that. Haven't you?
Yes, I'm being Grant right now.
Yes.
Shut up, Grant.
Anyway, let's get on with the show. And today's topic is Battle of the Sexes. And what do we mean by that? What do we mean by that, Chantelle?
Me versus you.
Well... Sort of, but not really. It's more of a general term of the Battle of the Sexes. And
introduce me to this fact.
Well, obviously with our topic, we talk about weight loss. We talk about weight loss surgery. Battle of the... Oh, excuse you, mate.
I'm so sorry.
Battle of the Sexes in general, it's all over the world. It's in the workplace. It's on the sports field. It's with... wages, it's with how to cook, it's with kids, it's everything. So Battle of the Sexes happens everywhere, and naturally it'll happen in our community as well. Our community is very much dominated by females, and I think
the women.
well, I think not necessarily the surgery side of things has to be dominated by females, but I mean, weight loss in general has been dominated by the female population of the planet, well, for probably as long as I can remember.
Well, it's because weight's a huge subject with women. It's
Correct.
Something that is socially looked upon.
Absolutely.
Because, our generation and people around us have set this persona and how women should look and how everyone should be a certain size and how people should have their hair or what shoes they wear or what brands you wear. And it's almost like it becomes a competition as well as like who can... It's like, what is this goal we're all trying to get to? Like, there isn't a perfect goal.
No, there isn't. And it does become a bit of a jealousy thing sometimes as well, because in general, it's looked upon as men are able to maintain or even lose weight a lot easier than women. That is just a general rule or a general thought. It's not necessarily the case, especially, individual circumstances. I can't really remember, but I tend to think that you lost weight quicker than what I did after surgery.
I stalled for a bit though, and then it picked up again.
Yeah. So I mean, in general, when you think about things of what men eat versus what women eat, just having a look on a website recently. Actually, I think I've got it here, don't I? What do they say here? They say Catherine Talmadge, the author of Diet Simple. Basically, men love their meat and women love their carbohydrates. Now,
is that scientifically proven, or is that just her stating that?
I think that's I think that is general knowledge.
Oh, she's an RD. Okay, so she's a registered dietitian.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, I think that's still...
I think that's it.
I think that's still general knowledge, though. I mean, when you think about, or when people think about what men eat, we are typically put into, we love our meat. Give us anything on the bone. Give us barbecue. Give us everything like that.
Cavemen.
Very much.
But, like, I kind of agree with what she said, because even before my sleeve, I wasn't a big meat eater.
No.
I was a big carb eater. Huge carb eater, but not like, don't put a steak in front of me. Like, it just doesn't do anything for me. And even now, I would say I've got less meat in my diet than before.
Yeah. But you know how important protein is.
Yes.
So I suppose the meat category comes down to, if you simplify it even more or generalize it even more, it's a protein category.
And carbs for us are dangerous at the moment, because most of them are slider foods, which we try and avoid.
So, I mean, if you take that on face value and say, well, men are protein, women are carbs, it's going to be generally harder for women to lose weight. Men, once they... basically put their mind to it and need to start lose weight, they don't think of diet, they think of exercise. Women, when they think about losing weight, they think of diet before exercise. So it's just a natural thing, and how we're programmed as men and women.
I like what she says on there about what she sees very common is that women tend to be fairly knowledgeable about food and calories. Yes. But do you know why? Because it's in our face all the time.
Yes.
It's like in magazines. It's on social media. It's on television. It's like, oh, Ellen McPherson lost, 0.5 kilos and she's lost like 50 dress sizes and she did it eating this amount of calories. Like, we're marketed to numbers all the time and it sticks in our head. It's... with men, it's different. It's
very different.
It's, exactly like she said, men don't really think much about nutrition. It's like, cool, I've got food.
Very much. I mean, from my own personal journey, I didn't necessarily want to take meat out of the equation or protein out of the equation. Before I had my surgery, I was very active with exercise. I mean, I still like to be now. I'd love to be a lot more active, of course, but...
We're active than what we used to be.
Yeah, of course. But one thing that I already knew prior to my surgery was that protein was a big key to being able to remain a bit lean. I mean, obviously you want to stay with your lean meats and things like that, but I mean, it made it easier for me because I knew I didn't necessarily have to cut out a lot of the protein I was eating.
I'm going to pull up one thing though.
Okay.
People tend to concentrate, and this is like what we spoke about in the Portion Perfection episode. People tend to concentrate too much on protein and forget about everything else. You're supposed to have... You do need balance, and you need to have a little bit of carbs. And what I hate seeing is people that go through this process, like, I do use my plate. I do know that I'm supposed to have this amount of protein, or I've got to have, some sort of vegetables or whatever. If I haven't had them during the day, you've seen, I'll just get a pan and chuck some veggies in it, stir fry it up, and I'll eat it. What I don't like seeing And I don't know why we're going from battle of sexes to diet, but we'll get back on track
It's
in a
still
second.
part of it. It's still like how women see it versus how men see it. And this
It's
is
like
very
there's
much a woman's point of view.
There's like a trend. It's like one person puts one thing up and we all turn into sheep
Yeah.
and we all follow. And I don't like that because it doesn't work for everyone. And the second thing is people that have been through the surgery, whether it's lap band, sleeve, bypass, there's some that concentrate on pure protein all the time. And if you aren't off your ass and you're not moving and you're not exercising, why?
Yeah.
You can't sit and eat protein bars, protein balls, chicken, all that stuff constantly and not get off your ass and do something.
Yeah.
Because you're not burning it.
Yeah.
And your body's going to go, well, I'm not using this. I'm going to store it. And then in a few weeks or a few months, your scales are going to start moving up and you'll be like, what am I doing wrong? You're not eating a balanced diet. You're eating pure protein. Yes, they need it for your muscle mass, especially if you're working out. You need it to burn energy, just like carbs. You need some sort of carbs in your diet. Media is like, no, don't eat carbs. Don't do this. Don't be afraid of carbs. You just got to have it in moderation. And don't listen to these bullshit media things either. You know, a lot of them are made up anyway, and we know that from our own experience. But I agree with the carbohydrates. It's almost like, I know I was addicted to them. I said to my dietitian and my surgeon before I even had my surgery, I prefer savoury over sweet anytime.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's really interesting because if from a human being perspective, if we all research and look at what we need to do, exercise, balanced diet, all that stuff, it doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. The only thing that matters after that is actually how your body is, I suppose, programmed. Unfortunately, from a woman's perspective, they don't have, or a woman's body naturally doesn't have the same makeup as what obviously a man has in terms of lean muscle mass, and being able to process foods differently. From a human being point of view, obviously we can all eat the same thing, but we don't actually process it all the same.
No.
So
we have hormones that you guys don't. You guys have got hormones that we don't have. Like we're the same species, but we're different.
Yes. Well, a big, I suppose, easy thing to say is emotional eating.
That's me.
Well, I think that's women in general. It's not. I'm not trying to be generalised. I think.
Can we all just attack Grant for what he just said?
Well, I think emotional eating is very much a female trait.
And I think boredom eating is a very male trait.
Yeah, I think so. I think, see, when we're emotional, when a guy's emotional, we don't generally go to food.
You don't really express it either.
We generally want to keep our minds off it. So we want to go do something. We want to go distract from us being, thinking about the thing that's making us emotional, if you know what I mean. So,
well, if that's me, I'd have a complete meltdown, make sure everyone in the street hears me having a meltdown, and then go, dig into some cheese.
No more cheese.
No.
But whereas, obviously, as you say there, with women, in a generalised version, being emotional does, if you're not actually distracted, if you're not out, you are generally going to go to the fridge, you're going to the cupboard, things like that. Whereas men will go to distract themselves. They'll go out the back, do things out in the yard or out in the shed. Play video games. Go, not really watch a movie because that's not doing anything as such, but it's more keeping your hands busy. So, not saying that men can't be emotional eaters as well, because they certainly can be.
Have you noticed I've emotionally eaten the last couple of weeks?
You always emotionally eat. Always.
I know.
The good thing is that it's changed. Pre-surgery, it was, John, you now emotionally eat good food.
I know. I'm like, I'll go in the fridge and I'll pull out some like beans or like some lavash crackers, like 3 or 4 of them, or the soybeans, and I'll just sit there and eat them. It's weird because previously I probably would have drove to Macca's and got like a large Big Mac meal, and now I'm just like, nah, I'll just, have some pieces of salami and I'll have some pickles, and it's weird. My whole mind's changed.
See, I'd love to know how people feel. I mean, pre-surgery, we were all fairly lazy, I would say. I think that's, once again, it's a general term, and I'll always kind of speak in general terms. You can never know absolute. But I think we were all fairly lazy. I mean, I was actually going to the gym quite a bit still, but I was doing within my realms, but I wasn't changing the way I ate. So from a man's point of view, I was not changing my diet, but doing exercise and reasoning myself with that.
And eating steak at 11 o'clock at night.
Hey, it was a good steak.
Do you remember the first time I took you to Woolworths to go do a healthy shop? I do, because you were like a kid throwing a tantrum.
I don't remember.
It was Rowville.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, we got you Weight Watcher meals and stuff, and you were like, what is this? I'm not eating this. And I'm like, well, you got to start somewhere. Because I was doing the Lean Cuisine calorie counting, and look how that went down.
Oh,
fantastic. Yeah. Ended up putting on 30 kilos. Yay.
Yeah. But from a women's point of view, would you say that...
Even those meals are marketed at us.
Yeah, well, that's true. Well, all the ads, you see women in them.
Light and easy, same thing.
Always, always, always. But from a women's point of view, would you say that it was easier... I mean, this is how I see it. It was easier to change your diet, but not easier to think about bringing exercise into the equation?
Yes and no.
Okay, explain.
So... It was, obviously it's easier with food because you've got that restriction now. However, there are some people out there that do have the restriction and still go and eat crap. I know a couple of them. You've got to have the willpower. You've got to be able to admit, I have a food addiction and I don't know how to control it, and I've had to go all the way to these lengths to have this procedure done so I can take back my life and restrict the amount of food that I can have, because food's everywhere. Doesn't matter. If
you had a choice, like right in front of you at one point in time, someone said to you, right, you have to have a choice. You've either got to go for a 1 kilometre run, that's maybe too easy, 5 kilometre run, or eat something, raw and healthy.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I would probably go for the run.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think you would.
And I love running.
Yeah, but for 5 kilometres straight?
Oh, okay. Well, that's different.
Yeah, not 5 kilometres in, over 5 days. Like,
no,
a 5 kilometre run.
Yeah, that's fine, but it's a hard one because you know me, I love running. I love it. I feel free when I run. Give me a different one.
No, I'm just saying, what if we spoke about in a general male versus female thing? I'm just telling you, from a male perspective, I would go for the 5K run in a heartbeat.
Maybe I'd eat.
I'm not saying that all women are like that.
Everyone's different.
I'm just saying that from a battle of the sexes point of view, if you had to swing one way or another, I would say the higher percentage of women would go for the food and the higher percentage of men would go for the run. I think that you obviously got those people who are crossover, who prefer to go for the healthy food rather than the run. But it's, as I say, I think that's where we are generally seeing any kind of situation when it comes to weight loss and when it comes to being healthy overall. Okay,
so I'm going to give 1 point to the girls.
Okay. Oh, I'm saying that's actually a point for the girls, by the way.
So we're already in front. Okay, cool.
Not that we're scoring, but I'm just saying.
I also... This Dr. V that's appearing everywhere, this bariatric surgeon...
Yeah.
He was saying, and I didn't agree with it, and I actually commented on it, and my comment got deleted. He was saying that, breakfast isn't the most important meal, and you should have a smoothie for breakfast. And I was like, no.
Is that maybe to be easier on your stomach, or...?
Well, no, you need to get your body and your mind into a routine of actually... Because most of us... who've gone through this procedure, we didn't actually have a set time of eating things. We just eat whenever. Now when I get up in the morning, I sort my breakfast out straight away. I think that's more of a thing that women do now in comparison to men, because I know that you can go a while without eating unless I've made you sandwiches.
If I'm distracted. Yeah. If I'm distracted and doing things, I don't have to worry about food at all.
I personally feel we have more time management skills in knowing when we got to eat, knowing how much water we've got to have. You know, why are you laughing at me?
You and water.
I hate water.
I love it.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm the first to say I hate water. I actually put in either the protein perfection. I put that in there, so it's got somewhat taste. Or I use the Diet Right cordial because I hate the taste of water. It's bland.
There is no taste.
It's boring.
But there's no taste to water.
I'm all about colour and being amazing, and if I drink water, it makes me sad because there's no taste.
See, I'm sorry. This is another male versus female thing, and I'm telling you right now, this might split the room. But I'm just telling you right now, I think women just can't handle water like men can. Don't throw things at me. I'm not saying I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that
I'm trying. I've bought like 4 water bottles.
you don't use water in them.
I have been upping it recently, though.
You mean by putting more cordial in it?
No, I just bought a bigger bottle to put more water. I'm allowed it. And Chris and the team, like, they've got the Protein Perfection water, which is really good for me. I don't use the scoop, like the amount that it tells you to, because I sometimes think it's a little bit sweet. So I do like usually half of what the recommendation is. And that makes me drink the water. So
makes you. It
does, because it tastes good. The mango one's my favourite.
No worries. And then you just follow up your water with a Mother or a Red Bull.
No. It's usually a skinny hot caramel latte from Degani's.
Skinny? Mm-hmm. What's skinny?
Skinny milk. Or if they've got soy. Well, sometimes I'm like, I don't know.
I was going to say, you usually do soy, don't you?
I usually get a soy one. But I've kind of having one of those moments where I'm like, I don't really want soy.
I like a soy caramel latte.
I don't really say it like that, but okay.
Yeah, you do, because, you know, you're just so good because you have
extra hot
soy caramel latte, please.
It's 70 cents extra for soy.
That'll be fabulous.
At least I drink hot drinks.
So?
Anyway.
Hot drinks aren't good for you.
Yeah, they are.
They're not good for men.
How so?
Well, just trust me. Did you know women are literally hardwired to crave cupcakes?
I'm more pizza.
Pizza?
But actually, going on about that, because I mentioned pizza, since like we made like a pizza, didn't we, the other night, and it was more enjoyable than a normal pizza for me because I can't even eat it. That's another thing. I feel like men have less of a restriction than what we do. We've had this conversation numerous times.
We've had this conversation, and yes, in general, I can eat more than you.
Why? Why though?
I don't know. You reckon I've got a bigger sleeve than you?
You can eat a lot more than me.
Like, I still can't eat a lot.
But to the sizes that we eat now, like, I can't even finish what's on my portion plate half the time. Like, I can't even get through half of it. I have days. It's really weird, and women will relate to me. And sorry, guys, if you're listening, this is a bit TMI, okay? I have found when I'm ovulating, I have no restriction. I can eat, and I know when I'm full. However, the week leading up to my period, my restriction is terrible. I can't get anything in. And I end up bringing it back up most of the time. And you know this because I complain about it all the time. And I don't get it. And then I'm like, oh, well, you know, get your foot off me, you feral. You know, it's a muscle. It moves. It gets smaller. It gets big. It's a balloon, basically.
No, we didn't get the balloon. We got the sleeve.
I'm talking about how your stomach reacts. It's like a balloon, you dipshit. I'm very hostile today.
Yes. But as we're looking on this website that we brought up, a couple of points that has been made is that men tend to lose weight quicker at the start because of the muscle mass and because of the lean muscle mass as well. Can you go back to that website, please? I was reading. Go back up.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate. You're not down, up. Thank you. No, why do you go too far? So it says here, thanks to their speedy metabolism, men's bodies respond faster to diets. In a British Journal of Nutrition study, with men and women were put on a popular weight loss program like Atkins, Slim Fast, and
That gives
Weight
you
Watchers.
headaches.
Men lost twice as much weight and 3 times as much body fat after 2 months. So I suppose what they're trying to say is that because of the makeup of a male body, we can lose it quicker. But probably I would say that not the negative, but the opposite, or the problem with that is that later on, those last few kilos are going to be even harder to lose. Whereas women may stall at the start, but then once they get going, bang, it's going to just drop off. So I think it's just more the fact that women take longer for their diets to kick in, and men's don't require as much, probably because of the high protein count where our bodies usually intake, from a majority of a population point of view. And as they say, even if men don't lose more weight, it looks like they do. So I guess we look better. You don't agree?
No.
I think we do.
I think I look better than you.
I think you do too.
Thanks. Is that a Gordon? I'll kick you. But
I mean, another point that comes from this website, which I was actually looking at just before, evolution tells women to hold onto those curves. So your bodies are built for childbirth and things like that. So the body makeup, the actual DNA in your body, makes it harder to lose weight compared to men. We're not supposed to hold on to it for whatever reason.
We have stuff like PCOS, we have thyroid issues.
Yep.
There's a number of things that affect us that don't affect you guys.
No.
Periods too.
Yeah.
Water retention.
Yeah. We've got it really easy, but that's why it's easy for us to drop the weight when we actually do gain the weight. So if we gain weight, that's obviously due to our own laziness and our own fact that we don't take care of our body, and hence why we go down the surgery path as well. But when we do start losing that weight, we lose it quite quickly, and then it's just up to us to maintain it. Whereas I think it's a lot harder for the female species, the fairest sex, so to speak.
Power.
Oh, yeah, get over yourself, mate.
Mate, you guys have nothing if you don't have us.
And vice versa.
No.
No.
Mary was a virgin.
No. Please. I think...
Why did Adam and Eve...
Joseph wanted to believe that.
Marriage equality. Jesus had 2 dads. He's okay.
He did?
Yeah, he did. Joseph and God.
Yeah, let's not get into religion. Yeah.
And I've got another one to put to you.
And very bad.
If God created Adam and Eve, why do they have belly buttons? Huh? Yeah.
Mate, probably not a good subject to get on.
We can just cut that out. If you
Yeah,
want.
let's just maybe leave that for another day. Non-podcast related. We'll start another podcast. Yeah, I didn't think so.
No.
So yeah, back on that.
We have a lot more issues to deal with afterwards. So I would say with losing the weight with women, I guess it's because society has its eyes fixed on women and what the perfect woman looks like. And
Yeah, I know you've been saying this over and over again. It's media, it's social media, it's pressure on women. I agree with you.
that wasn't nice.
What? I'm not. I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, I know, and I didn't get to say what I wanted to say.
I was getting to your point. Come on.
Now I've lost it.
What do you mean you've lost it?
I've lost it.
How have you lost it?
Keep looking at them Pez dispensers.
Well, don't look at the Pez dispensers. You can't have one.
Oh, well, we've got pressure for what our bodies are to look like, and I don't think men do.
As a weight... Oh, no.
After weight loss.
I agree, we don't. It's easier for us to kind of... I think it's actually easier for us to hide what we look like. Women tend to do well in hiding their imperfections, but I mean, from looking at from an outsider's point of view, it seems to take a lot longer to do that. You know, whether it be makeup, whether it be extra clothing, whatever it might be. Whereas guys, with the guy, we can kind of just get dressed and get dressed a certain way, which takes us 5 minutes and we're done. So it's a lot more pressure on females in that sense. From a WLS perspective, do you find that the pressure is still on because of the expectation in the community?
Yeah, I do. And because it's very female dominated. Female dominated. It almost... I'm not putting myself in that category anymore where I compare myself to others because it becomes a competition. And it's not. We're not all going to the same place. No. We're not all going to the same number. I will be the first to admit I did used to compare my journey to others. But it's almost you walking in on someone else's chapter.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you don't know what's going on. Like, you have no idea. But you throw yourself in there and it's like, why am I doing this? Yeah. But as a woman, it's natural for you to do that. And I say it all the time. I'm like, I wish I looked like that after losing that amount of weight. Oh, she was a similar weight to mine and she doesn't have skin like mine. Like, I kind of put myself down.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
That's a women thing, and guys are just like, like Nick said the other day, you're looking fucking amazing. Like, guys are just completely different, but with women we tend to focus more on our imperfections rather than our perfections and achievements.
I think that's, once again, I'm talking about in generals here, I think that is how men and women are in society. Like, men will generally just get along with other guys unless they do something to them that they don't like. Whereas women won't get along with another woman for the littlest things. And I think that is, I suppose, even more prevalent in the WLS community because there is the sense of competition in a way. And this is probably a subject for another day as well. But if I meet another guy in the WLS community, as I have, who has gone through the same thing as me, we actually won't talk about the surgery. We won't talk about, what our journey's been like. If we do, we probably spend a couple of minutes on it, or we might just talk about what we do in terms of exercise. But generally, we'll just talk normally. Guys are like that. We're not fickle. We don't care about that stuff. It's another guy who's part of the community. Hey man, how you going? No worries. Hey, I'm Grant. Yeah, no worries. And we just talk about other things again. We just talk about everyday
It's funny,
things.
when I go out to meet up with other weight loss surgery, like girls around my area, we were always like, we're not going to talk about WLS stuff tonight. And we end up talking about it.
I think it's just, what am I trying to say? It's
a common thing for us to talk about. But then are we comparing?
I think it's natural. I don't know if you're necessarily comparing. You might be helping each other. You might be helping somebody else get through some struggles. And I think from a female perspective, you take advantage of the experience that you've gone through to help others. Guys will do that if absolutely necessary. And this is where it comes down to, guys don't ask for directions, guys don't ask for help. We can learn a lot from a female perspective in trying to help each other. I suppose guys, part of the WLS community, are different in that sense because we've come and been a part of a very female-dominated community. So it's we learn a little bit differently, of course, but guys in general will not usually ask for help. They'll usually not put a cry out for help. And when we do, we know that we're going to get a mostly female response. So when talking to other guys, we'll usually do it in private.
Yeah.
And this is us naturally. We don't talk about our feelings generally. I do. I don't mind doing that. And there's a lot of guys who don't mind doing that. But in general, we don't.
I've even noticed with transformation photos that women will tend to, and I'm guilty of it as well, will show skin. I haven't seen any guys on there showing skin.
I have, but you won't see a lot.
Would you like to know 3 things your pubic hair says about you?
Stop looking at the ads. Look, we're going to get off that. You're not going to look at it anymore because you're getting distracted now. But I think it's something that we can learn from each other.
I think we need to communicate more.
Yeah, communication's big, but I think females...
We need more guys in the community. I reckon they're out there hiding.
There's a lot of guys in the community that we probably just don't know about. We talk about secret sleevers and like that. Guys wouldn't naturally be secret sleevers or secret bypass or whatever it might be, but they will generally not, be loud and proud about it necessarily. They'll just do it for them, do it for their family, do it for their partner, for instance.
Love Beast to Beast. I love him. Yeah, and The Walking Joey. I'm huge fans of them. And Brian Richards as well.
Well, you'll generally see when guys do come out in the community, they're very popular.
Yeah, because all the girls are like, woo! Woo! Another guy! Woo! It's like when Chiller putting in the work when, like, he's not a weight loss surgery person, but he is within our community. Because obviously some people have got to find where they kind of belong in a way.
Yeah.
He hasn't had weight loss surgery and he's smashing goals. And I look at his videos and that for inspiration because he features a lot of people that I've never heard of. Most of the time they are Americans, but that's where I've actually found quite a lot of the male community.
Yeah.
A lot of them are in America.
A lot more population. You'll generally see more from America in that sense, for sure.
And it's cool when those guys come out and start communicating with us. Like James, for example, James VSG Lifestyle. Like, he's kind of like coming with the Aussies now, you know. I just feel like, 85% of the community is female?
Oh, for sure. It might even be more. But what you'll find is the ones that actually come out on Instagram are the ones who are very open. They're very easy to talk to. And this is, once again, in general sense. Some are just happy to be out there because they want to feel part of the community. They don't necessarily want to overly celebrate or, say, look at me or anything like that. Whereas I find the female side is very much wanting that justification that they did the right thing.
Like validation?
Validation. Guys don't generally want that. We just want to be part of the community. I mean, I'm pretty lazy in the community. I should post probably a lot more, but I just don't. More because it's not necessarily a priority to me. I like doing the podcast more, and that's what I concentrate on. Whereas I know you post a lot.
I haven't posted in 5 days, but I've been doing a lot of Insta stories.
Yeah, so it's keeping in contact with your fan base or keeping in contact with your followers, keeping in contact with just the community in general. And you like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with liking that. I think it's a great community. I think Instagram has been fantastic for our community as well.
I think it's been good for me. It put me back on track.
Yeah. So it does help. It does certainly help when you get that inspiration, but you can certainly see the difference between male and female.
Yeah, well, with female, it's very repetitive. Everyone's kind of doing the same thing. But with male, and I'm sorry to say this, girls, and I know that we work hard as well, but I actually really like watching the guys because I learn a lot from them about what proteins or what supplements they're taking or what workouts they're doing or what weights they're doing. Like, I feel like I learn a lot more from them.
Do you think you learn more or do you just learn different things?
Both.
Okay.
So, Chiller putting in the work's one of them, especially like with his routine that he does and his protein and that. Like, I would have had no idea. Like, I see most of the time through my Instagram OptiSlim because people are starting the process, and then I see people that do use protein powders. But I feel like I get more knowledge from the male side of it because you guys kind of throw. It's like, I'm going to the gym and I'm using this. I'm like, oh, what are you using?
Do we speak like that?
No.
You go to the gym, mate. You know it's all right. No, I think we
but
can
you
learn
know what
a
I
lot from each
mean?
other.
Like, I think we can take stuff, like women can take a lot more from men. I think men can take a lot more from women.
Yeah, I think that's where the communication comes in. And it almost needs an exercise. You almost need like one male with like two females because the females outweigh the males in that community a lot. And even outside of the community, weight loss in general is very much a female subject, and that's because of the media pressure and the social media pressure and things like that. But guys can learn so much from the females in in a lot of different areas of weight loss. And I think certainly females can learn a lot from the males and just being, I suppose, more relaxed, more carefree.
Well, it's like, this isn't weight loss surgery related, but we've been watching a thing on Netflix called Dark Web.
Yeah.
And they had an episode today, which we watched this morning, which was about being addicted to porn. And
Where's this going?
well, I'm referring to how guys are now focused on reality now. Hang on.
What do you mean virtual reality? Like, withdrawing themselves more from reality to suit what they want in their life as a fantasy.
Correct.
Yeah.
And even with women, you find that they're no longer going towards being the skinny, stereotype blonde with big boobs. It's like, yeah.
Because guys don't want that anymore.
No, we're embracing our curves and natural hair color, and it's like, you accept me for me. And I found that really fascinating because in my head as a woman, I have this image of what I think guys want me to look like. I'm married, I know, but every woman goes through it, and you have this image in your head, and it's like, yeah, I want to have some nice curves. I want to have nice boobs, which don't look like flapjacks. I want to have an ass. Like, it's all.
You look at it. Like, I mean, 10 years ago, it was Paris Hilton. It was the social media queen or the reality queen. Now it's the Kardashians. You know what I mean? It's a switch. Guys have. Well, I mean, media told us.
Even Ashley Graham. Have you seen her?
Who's Ashley Graham?
Google it.
Do I have to do it right now?
Yeah, do it right now. She is banging. Like Ashley Graham, she's a plus size model. She's done quite a lot. She's absolutely stunning.
Oh yeah, she is pretty banging.
So, and
do you want to leave me alone for a bit?
No, I don't. But she represents plus size. Now you look at that.
Plus size come through, and
there's women that have curves and they have little rolls and stuff now. Like, that's what I love seeing. I love seeing it because it's showing it's okay. No one's perfect. Everyone's got imperfections.
Yeah.
You know, don't listen. Like this one, for example.
Going back to the way it was in the 50s and the 60s, because you didn't have pint-sized women back then doing modelling. You had women with curves.
Mm-hmm.
And then the obsession in the 80s and 90s became, the thinner the better. And in the early 2000s, it got out of control, and that's when I think the switch came. And, women wanting to look and wanting to embrace how they naturally look, is a good thing. But, I mean, you also want to make sure that they're being healthy. You can have curves and be healthy. And I think that's the message we don't want to really detract from, is that just because women have gone through weight loss surgery doesn't mean they don't want to embrace their curves.
No, and one quote that I'm going to leave with this one is one that she's actually said. I actually really do like it. It says, of course I look at my body and think, oh, I want to tighten up my arms. A bit. Or I wish my ass was, lifted higher. But nobody has the perfect body. There is no such thing.
Yeah, that's true.
I love that.
So I think out of Battle of the Sexes, men clearly win.
How?
Because come on, just tell me, you love men.
No, I'm giving it to the girls.
No, that's not what I asked. You love men.
Yeah, I do love men.
And you love me.
Yes, I do.
See, so we win. Now, stop. Look, can you close that, thanks?
Oh, sorry.
Are we looking at lingerie now? The hell, mate? Anyway, so that'll do our subject for the Battle of the Sexes. But I know
there's a bit of a rant. We kind of went off the track a few times, but it doesn't matter. It's all about improv, right?
Well, I think in general, we learn from this is that men and women can learn a lot from each other. And it probably will never change. Men and women will always kind of be the same in general. But from a weight loss community point of view, we can certainly communicate a lot better and make sure that we're learning completely rather than trying to compete against each other.
Yeah. We need to work
as
together.
a battle of the sexes in general. But yeah, now it's time for a very important I suppose it's a very important segment.
Social shout out. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh my god.
See, I had no shit last week when you weren't here. No one gave me any crap about me singing. Anyway,
Nobody
it only
cared.
seems fitting. Shut up. I have a lot of respect for this gentleman. He's also Australian from Queensland. He appeared on my Instagram a couple of months ago. I think I found him through maybe Nick or someone. His name is Adam, and I don't know what, like, correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, but MW, I don't know if that's like your highest weight, I'm not sure, but he was 123.5. He had his gastric sleeve done on the 14th of June this year, and he weighed in at 112.5, so he did really good on, getting down there. And then his current weight is 93.
It's pretty awesome. And as you can see, like we were talking about, men losing weight quickly. So once he decided, yep, I'm doing this, he was able to lose 11 kilos before his surgery. So it's a really good job.
So Adam is AFH coming down. And one thing I do really like about him, apart from his posts, obviously, is he has a quote on his Instagram, which actually is one of my quotes from Gridiron too. Our club uses this quote, but fitter, faster, stronger.
That's
I
his
really
goal.
do like. That's his goal.
Really good, Adam.
So
That's awesome
that's
stuff.
for Adam.
No, really good stuff, mate, and always good to see.
And I gave
the
it to
male
a
side.
man.
Yeah, you did. It's really good to see the males getting some shout outs. So I think that pretty much sums up that we did win this episode. What, mate? I'm trying to think of something good to come back with, eh?
No.
Yeah, I thought so. All right, guys. Well, I think we'll probably leave it there for this week. Thank you for joining us once again. It's always good to have our audience with us, and always good to see the downloads. So make sure you check us out on Instagram at Changing Our Ways PC. Also on Facebook, facebook.com/Changing Our Ways PC.
Like and share, please.
Like and share, and we're also on YouTube as well with Changing Our Ways. So make sure you download, check out the YouTube channel, share, like, make sure we build this community as much as we possibly can. Numbers have been really good, but we'd love to see them even better. All right. So just one last thing before we go, which is our disclaimer. We are obviously not trained professionals. We're not doctors, surgeons, or specialists of any kind. We give our opinion based on our experience.
Why do you call yourself Dr. Love?
Well, that's another situation. But generally, we just talk on opinion, okay? So we're never going to be able to give you medical advice. If you do need to seek medical advice, we encourage you strongly to seek that from your GP.
Or dietitian.
Or dietitian or surgeon, whoever might be medically trained in the field you require. All right, guys, I think that's it. Is there anything else from you today, Chantelle?
No, just,
What?
cholesterol.
It's okay, babe. Cheese will come back one day.
I hope so.
All right, guys. Well, that'll do us. That'll be Changing Our Ways. Signing off again once for today.
Bye. See you, mate.